Okay. Itchy Fingers. This is what I thought of Itchy Fingers. Super low budget with heavy topic, dressed up as a comedy. Really well done idea on bullying, conspiracy, and self worth. The vulnerability of our lead actor in this film is such a journey I enjoyed being on. This film is very hard to watch, as Bryce had kind of alluded to at times. But for me, it was still a Mondo. I really loved this. At the end of it, I was like still thinking about it, and I'm still thinking about it. I love this film. It was a Mondo for me.
Fair enough.
Murray, I'm almost anxious for you to see it now, just to see if
I did see it.
Oh, did you? What did you think?
I did.
So that's a bad thing.
What the hell was this movie?
Yes. Like, what the hell was it?
It was awkward and I was uncomfortable, and
yes,
it brought back a lot of bad memories from my high school days. Being the overweight kid who got picked on. This basically there was this nice, sweet kid who, granted, wasn't funny, and his parents were all stupid. They weren't funny either.
Nope, they weren't supposed to be.
Funny, you know? Oh, come on. Grandma and Grandpa were spectacular.
They weren't funny at all, but I mean, he was trying at least. I mean, his jokes were terrible.
Yep.
But it's this sweet kid who, loved life, and basically turned him into like this evil character and basically messed with his head. It was awkward for me to watch, and at the end, I was really hoping to happen what happened, even if it was just in his mind. Like it was an unpleasant journey for me to watch the whole thing, because I was bullied all through high school, and that's all it was to me, was they were just bullying this kid. That's all it was. This is a super, super rage for me.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though, Murray. I think it's intentionally made that way. Like, that's why they made this movie. They wanted to show how
I go to movies and I watch movies to escape from reality and to enjoy myself. I don't enjoy being reminded of my horrible younger days.
Past, yeah. You know what? This kid, I thought he did a great job in the acting in this. I thought at first at the beginning, I thought it was kind of awkward and kind of weird for him and how he was acting. But by the end, I was like, this kid is nailing it. Like, he did a great job.
In fact, they would even do a play like that to begin with. Like, that's absurd. Like, again, like I said, I've been in live theater since I was 15. And that play would never get past anything. Nobody would ever be able to produce that, especially after all the violence that's going on in America today. It was just stupid.
Oh,
anyway,
looks like we got a trifecta there. One of each. Nice. Vinyl Nation. Murr, did you see this one?
No.
Brycey?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to be better. I was actually really looking forward to this one, and it's and I know going in it's going to be a Talking Heads doc, and I don't know, it should have been better. It was meh.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you. It was meh for me. Vinyl geeks unite. I can see why. I understand why this played at Cuff. I grew up loving albums, but I'm not a vinyl geek. This is another geek-focused film where people into vinyl might like this film a little better. It's charming and it's cute. And personally, the film is probably 60 minutes too long, as far as I thought. It was well done.
It should have been a short, to be honest. Yeah. It either needed to be a short, or they needed to get some more better interesting
content in it.
Yes.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, it was a meh. Okay, now we're going to talk about Playdurizm. Playdurizm. Which is from the Czech Republic, which we don't often see very often.
No.
Why don't you tell us what you thought about Playdurizm?
It is a unique experience, if ever there was one.
Yes, it is.
This was quite the mind bender. A lot of stuff going on in here. I thought halfway through it was going to be Mondo for me. It didn't end up being Mondo. It's definitely not for everybody. It is a very original, unique experience. And if that's what you're looking for in film, which quite often I am, you should check this out. I didn't have any major problems with it. And as weird as it sounds, I thought maybe they need to go further with some stuff. Because I mean, they go pretty far. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was a high mech just because for its originality. And I can't say that if this kid makes another movie that I'm not going to be first in line to see it, because he has piqued my interest, and I hope more is to come. Because this was a very, very, very unique experience. I liked it. It was meh.
Okay, so Playdurizm is my kind of fucked up weirdness, first of all. Visually stunning and engaging, so much color palette to the eyes, and set design was like, what? So good. The set design on this was fantastic. I liked a lot of this film, but I was promised motherfucking weird. And this was not as weird as it was. I wanted the original momentum to stay as weird as it had started with. The ending was really good though, but it didn't connect to the level of weird that I needed it to. It was kind of like 2/3 into it, you're going like, yeah, this is super nice weird. Let's just build this weirdness and make it more. And then they got into a lull sort of at that 2/3 into the film where you're kind of like, I want you to put your foot on the pedal and make this really fucking weird.
As I say, they needed to go further, and they did. And instead of going further, they put it in reverse a little bit.
Yes, they did. It was kind of like, but the ending was a perfect ending. Like, to me, they couldn't have ended this movie any more perfect. So if you wait till the end, you will see a perfect ending that this movie was and should be. But I think they should have had their foot on the pedal. So this gets a weirdo romp, but not weird enough meh. And for me, it was a high meh too. I wanted the weird to go further.
As did I.
Okay,
but
so
as I say, I'm excited to see something else from this director.
Yeah, I am super excited to see.
He's got some unique vision. There's no question.
And I was kind of a little disappointed there wasn't more nudity. Like, you kind of expect more nudity in the Czech Republic. Okay. It's just kind of a thing. It's kind of the porn center of the world, and we didn't get really any good, porn. Really, it was like all edited for TV.
Disappointed in that.
Yeah,
so all the money goes to the porn movies.
I guess I was expecting, more sex scenes, but apparently that wasn't in the cards. So, okay. So before we talk about our last film, why don't we do our promo for our buddy at It Goes Down in the PM? What do you think of that?
Sure.
What's going on, everyone? This is your girl, Julene, host of It Goes Down in the PM. We talk about everything from work, motherhood, local celebrities to comic books. Tune in every Friday at 1 o'clock to find out what really goes down in the PM.
Yes. And we love her, by the way, because she's actually one of our members.
When is 1 o'clock anyway?
Well, for me, it's the minute that I close my computer at work, and then it becomes 1 o'clock. But for other people, it's kind of 5, I think. 5 is kind of the 1 o'clock for most people.
If you work from home, it's all day.
Yeah, well, it should be all day. But I wouldn't be able to function very well. So, so our last film we're going to talk about. And then we got to get back to watching movies tonight. What's with the fingers you're giving us? Is this like psychedelia? People who can't see us, go to our YouTube quickly. At this point in the podcast, Bryce is doing, and actually Murray's doing it. It's like, I feel like we should have some more psychedelic music going on right now. So we got to see the movie Censor.
Yeah.
Mur, did you see this one?
I did, because it's a horror movie. You know, I like my horror.
You do like your horror movies. Well, why don't you tell us what you thought of this little beast?
All right. Well, first of all, was this movie set in the 80s?
Yes, it was.
Rotary phones, video stores.
Yeah, it's 80s. It is an 80s period piece.
VHS and Margaret Thatcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it doesn't get more 80s than that.
Not in the UK, it don't.
Like, there was no cell phones flying around. It was truly vintage. It was a great psychological thriller, and it's about the film industry, which I also enjoy. Yeah, it was good. It had lots of gore and great ending, and I was hooked from the beginning.
Sweet. Would you give it? Is that a Mondo, Merman?
Oh, definitely a Mondo. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, Bracy Poo. What you got?
It was all right. I was hoping it would be. It was better than. For some reason, this was one of the movies I wasn't looking forward to. Not even sure why.
Because you're crazy.
Yeah, maybe. But as I was watching, I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." It's a good little romp. I love the tie-in with the video nasties and the whole deal, because that was a big thing. At one point, I owned like a DVD set that had like all the video nasties trailers, which was kind of cool. I don't know why I got rid of that. I wish I wouldn't have.
Again, we talked about it. You're crazy.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, was it Mondo? No, it wasn't Mondo. But it was very good. It was meh. Performances were good. Really well made film, but at the end of the day, it wasn't Mondo. It was meh. It's good.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what I thought of Censor. This is probably the best 80s period piece film I've ever seen, and was done so well. It reminded me.
This is one of those ones where you can't make the argument that it could have been made any other time.
And that is 100% why I love this movie. If you're gonna make a period piece, it has to have a reason to be in this period, and this had every reason.
It has to be in the 80s.
It has to be in the 80s. It has to be Margaret Thatcher. It's got to be videos. It's got to be VHS. This reminded me of all the great horror films that I loved in the 80s that came before it, like The Omen or The Changeling. So slow and methodical, and still so effective. It drips with 80s atmosphere. I even felt I was watching an 80s movie. I don't even know how they built that into that. The color build and muted color of the 80s. It was so perfectly done. Music was stellar.
I don't know if they didn't describe it as being set in the 80s. Just I knew watching it that it was.
Yeah.
Everything, the way they
you knew
dressed,
it. You knew it was 100%.
Yeah,
100%. You knew it was, right? It had to have been. The music was stellar, creep factor all the way through. And I watched this with headphones, so it was even better in the surround sound. With what was freaking awesome. And Bryce has a surround thing. Oh, what's he wearing? The producer death scene was one of the best death scenes I've ever seen in any movie. Prano Bailey Bond may join the ranks of Osgood Jenkins and Panos Cosmatos and Baby Cronenberg as one of my new favorite directors. I can't believe this is her first feature. All atmosphere, all the time. This was fucking Mondo. I love this film. This is my favorite film I've seen so far. Nice. And we got 2 Mondos and a Mad Buddy. We didn't get Rage Man Mondo. You gave it a man. Me and Murray gave it Mondos.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't know if you were even watching the same movie, because this was a brilliant.
I liked it.
It was. Oh, I think you need to go back and watch it again with new eyes and just immerse yourself in the 80s, man.
Okay, maybe I will. That was good. Just good.
It's good. It's good.
Because he's too young. He didn't remember the 80s like we remember the 80s.
I remember the 80s.
Do you
Totally
remember the
remember.
80s? How old were you in the 80s?
When
5?
1980, I was 6, and by the
Yeah,
time we
see?
exited, I was 16. So
Yeah, that doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, that
No,
doesn't
it's-
mean nothing.
I lived through the VHS, the video stores. So
Did you
everything that was there.
Did anybody on this get charged for not rewinding their VHS tapes?
No. Why? How you always rewind your VHS tapes before you return them. Be kind. Rewind.
Exactly.
I'm
Let's see.
considerate of others.
That it's funny. I'm just asking because it is one of those things. We all live through the VHS life world, and it's true. I never got charged by either because I was also kind and I rewound.
Yeah. I rewound the 2 Jakes in Chinatown, went to return them, and the video store was closed. So I ended up with 2 copies. People were like throwing their videos in there, but the whole place was empty. The shelves were cleared. The cash register was gone, but people were still returning their videos. I'm like, well, that's dumb.
You should have went back with the claws, to claw it out. You should have gone in, got your claw.
Yeah, I got a few, but I was happy. I got the, free Chinatown and the 2 Jakes
on VHS.
On VHS, which are
I don't know where they are now.
Which are unplayable, by the way, on your system.
The VCR.
Yeah, do you have a VCR in your house?
I do not anymore. No. Oh, got rid of that too.
Probably gave it away. You probably gave it away with the VCR.
Yeah, probably. Here's a VCR. Here's a box of videos. Have at her. I did that with like a stack of Blu-ray discs once upon a time too. It was like I had a problem for a while. I used to buy a lot of stuff, and I just
12 o'clock midnight is not Bryce's time.
Take one or 2 discs on your way out. Anybody that visited. It's like it was unruly. Like the Film Rage Studios used to be like Blu-ray Central. There was like stacks of them.
Blu-ray Studios. That's the best. So we're going to be back on Friday, correct?
Yeah, we're going to be back on Friday to do a sort of wrap up / preview. Tune in Friday especially if you're in Alberta, so you can maybe get a few ideas of what to wrap up your cuff experience with. And then on the following Wednesday, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
We'll go from there. But Friday, we're going to have another special cuff episode. We'll fire through some more movies, and hopefully there'll be a whole lot of Mondo.
Yeah, I think there was a few Mondos today. So far, I'm loving the festival. This has got to be one of the best festivals that they put on in a while. So kudos to the program team.
It's been good.
Yeah. Mur, any closing notes?
No. They've had a good lineup. I've actually enjoyed quite a few of the movies, so this is unusual for me. So
would you say Censor? Okay, so let's talk quickly just about our favorite. Was yours favorite Censor, Mur?
Well, the ones that we can talk about that we haven't talked about yet, I would say definitely Riders of Justice, and then
and then Censor. Okay, Bryce, what was yours then? Oh, yeah, I already said that.
Alien on Stage.
Oh, I thought it was that other one. The
Alien on Stage.
Terrible old people movie.
That's so late, so soon. Also very, very enjoyable. But the best movie so far has been Alien on Stage. Loved it.
There we go. So you got a few, and mine was definitely Censor. By far my favorite, and then very close second for me would have been Riders of Justice. So because Mads Mikkelsen's dreamy. He's dreamy and mesmerizing.
How does he not have an Oscar? That's all.
Agreed.
Anyways,
should have a lot of stuff.
So just in case I do forget, try to remember to bring up Anders Thomas Jensen.
I will remember
next Wednesday, because we got to talk about him, I think.
Let's do it. Let's talk about him next week.
Sounds excellent.
Well, you know what time it is. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Special rage love to James and Julian at It goes down in the PM. Check out her podcast because she's awesome. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Collin for artistic vision and photography via Leonard Collin Photography. Check out his stuff at his website. For Bex Goose for her animation skills at potatoladypodcastreviews.com. Check out our social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. Get your rage on. See what we look like on our YouTube channel by searching Film Rage Podcast. We're always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often everywhere, including send us an email at filmragecalgary@gmail.com or on Podchaser or Apple Podcasts, where you can like and subscribe. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, please make us rage. Please. Please. That's it for today. We'll see you Friday. Rage on.
Rage on.